Slimehouse TV, myself Theo Kane, hope everybody is good. I just got back from the Doncaster Toy Fair, my first toy fair of 2023, and if you watch this channel, you'll know that I was only at this toy fair a couple of months ago, but when you come to these shows, no two toy fairs are the same. So did we find anything good? Did I uncover any treasure? Stick with me and find out. Let's do this. So we left Sheffield in the AM and got to Doncaster nice and early. Not as early as I would have liked to because it was a Sunday, so the first trains weren't until 8 AM and I like to be at the Toy Fair for 8 AM for the early bird entry. But either way, we still made good time. I got to the Toy Fair and I couldn't wait to start having a look around and seeing what was on offer this time. Now, as I said, I was only at the Doncaster Racecourse Toy Fair a couple of months ago, so part of me was apprehensive thinking that I'm probably going to see a lot of the same stuff, a lot of the same traders. A lot of these people do it full time, but because they do it full time, they always come across a lot of new stock and they like to replenish the stock that they've sold. So even though I'm seeing a lot of stuff that I saw last time, I'm also seeing a lot of new stuff that I've never seen before. And a lot of these traders, because they regularly do these toy fairs all the time, they're even set up in the same pictures. Their stalls are in the exact same location. So it's really interesting seeing the same sellers, but what new stuff they've turned out, what new stuff they've got on offer this time. Something. Ninja Turtles party, something or other. Are they masks? Oh yeah, they're like a visor. Yeah. Oh, they're cute, them. The Comanche. 12 big explosions. Oh, I had that. That's a classic. Them jigglers. Princess Diana action figure. Boglins we out here. Cyber Commandos, it's like some small soldiers knockoff, looks wicked. Cyber Commandos. Robotech. Remember's alive. Super Warriors. Look at these. Super Warrior. Knockoff. Got some reboot, what's these? Small reboots. Combat gear. Artwork on that, mint. Knockoff Rambo artwork. Yeah, I've seen them before. It's like a knockoff Pog. So I'm having a look around like I do, just getting a bit of like a feel for the show, a bit of a layout of the land, and I always like to make one purchase kind of early on if I can, so it can kind of open those floodgates, just grease that little zipper on the wallet a little bit. And I was only there like 10 minutes when I made my first purchase, which is pretty rare for me. I usually like to have a good look around before I make that first purchase, but when I saw this I just couldn't turn it down. And it was on a stall of a guy that I talk to when I come to these toy shows often, and he stands next to my friend Ian from Doncaster, and he had an old Schwarzenegger Total Recall game released by Ocean for the Commodore. Now, I'm not a big retro game collector. If you've watched my show, you'll know that I have talked briefly about this before. I've got a decent retro game collection, a very decent one, but it's not something I've ever gone out and looked for. It's just stuff that I've acquired over the years, and a lot of those old retro games and consoles I picked up years ago before the whole retro gaming thing was big again. So I've got a really nice collection, but it's not anything that I've ever gone out looking for. I haven't sought out retro games. I've just come across them, and I personally haven't bought an old retro game or a console for years. But when I saw it there, and it was Schwarzenegger, and it had the booklet inside, and even the little baggie that the cassette is inside, I couldn't leave it. Just check it, it says What's it? Has he got? Oh, he's got his book. Yeah, man, I'll take that. Nice one. Look at that. Schwarzenegger Total Recall. Nice one, dude. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
So, I mean, today I were a little bit worried because we had to get here later than I wanted to, but it looks like it's not made that much of a difference. Looks like there's still plenty of good bits about. Yeah, that's right, that's right. Good to see you anyway. Good to see you, boys. It was also wicked to see my friend Nick from Nima Studios, because he never really does the Doncaster Toy Fair. He'd brought a lot of his new stuff as well, including a lot of figures that he's made for the Ewoks movies. Now, if you know about the old Ewoks movies, you'll know that they're fantastic. I'm a big fan of them, and I really don't think that they get enough appreciation, and certainly don't get enough toys released. So he's made some unreleased characters from those movies, including the Gozak from the first Ewoks movie. Now, I've seen him take pictures of this thing and put them online, but the pictures really don't do him justice. Seeing it up close and personal was a whole different ball game. It looked very impressive in person, very nice figure, and a very cool thing for Nick to make and bring to the Toy Fair with him. So right across from Nick, if I'm remembering the layout of the fair properly, was another real nice stall that proper caught my eye and was actually the booth where I made my next purchase. And he had a really nice stall, lots of really high-end stuff, lots of SNES games in nice acrylic cases, absolutely beautiful. He had the old Alien vs Predator game, one that I love but I can't pay them Toy Fair prices for, but I would love to own it. I know that my mate Slacky would as well. But he had a lot of really nice games all set out. He also had a boxed Castle Grayskull, which I've seen 100 times, but it never gets old. I never get tired of seeing that awesome box art up close and personal. And he also had a Dungeons & Dragons Fortress of Fangs, which again, very nice to see in person. So he had lots of nice stuff on his stall. Obviously a guy that likes to deal in that more high-end stuff. There was no trash laid out on his table. In fact, the only thing that was on there that could have been called remotely trash is the thing that I bought from him. So if you've watched any of my videos recently, you'll know that I'm looking to put together a Pirates of Darkwater episode, a full documentary on the Pirates of Darkwater figures. I love these figures, and over the past year, I collected them all loose. But I don't have any carded ones. But I do now, because luckily I bought a carded joke from him at a real nice price and real cheap. Because we're doing a video on him soon, it kind of feels like we need to get that. I'll take him. Yeah, I'll take him, mate. I have got them all loose with all the weapons, but it's nice to have a couple carded, just so that you can show how they're displayed on the card, how they were laid out, and just tell that side of the story in the documentary as well. So, really happy with that purchase, and we'll put that in the box with the Pirates of Darkwater figures away for when we eventually do that documentary, whenever that may be, this year. A nice jolt from Pirates of Darkwater. I've got them all loose, but just nice to have a couple on the card, because we're doing a video on them at some point this year, so can't turn him down for 25 quid. So I keep on moving, I keep looking around, I've got my eagle-eye vision going, looking for stuff, walking around like the Terminator like I do, and I came across a store that had a lot of real nice Action Force and Manta Force stuff. Now, if you've watched any of my videos before, you'll know that I love me some Manta Force. I did a whole documentary on Manta Force right here on this channel, and this guy had some really nice stuff. A lot of the stuff that I've already got, but it's still really nice to see. You know I love Manta Force, Judd. We love it. Love to see it. Something else that he did have though, which was really cool to see, and I didn't buy it because I don't need any, but if you was in the market for him, you'd have been buzzing. He had a load of factory backstock, bagged up, sealed bullets for the old Manta Force Fortress playset, and he had loads of them, and like I said, I don't need any, but if you did need some and yours was missing some, like, you would have been buzzing, because this guy had a box full. What I did get off his stall though is something completely random, and again, not an action figure, not a game, but something again pretty different to pick up, was some old sealed trading cards for Robin Hood Prince of Thieves. Now, if you know Robin Hood Prince of Thieves and the Kenner toy line, you'll know that I'm a big fan of it. That's something else that I did a whole documentary about here on this channel. Still one of my favourite episodes that I ever released. We went above and beyond to create that. But it's always left a soft spot in my heart for those toys and that movie. So when I saw these trading cards there and they were just a couple of quid each, I couldn't leave them. You know them, look, 12 quid each. Pretty much a whole set. Look at that little kid, I wonder how old he is now. Crack dealer now, him. Nice. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh geez. How much did you pay for them if you don't mind me asking?
325.
Really?
Is that alright?
I reckon so. It's hard to 10 nowadays, but it's like it's less than a one a each, isn't it? So yeah, less than a one a each. You can't really go wrong.
I'd say I don't know about them. I wanted the British ones, obviously, because of the hero. Cause I remember.
Yeah, they are hero. Yeah, nice snag them, I reckon. You just got them for yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice one.
Yeah.
Nice one. Appreciate you showing them me, mate. You have a good day.
No.
Nice to meet you.
Have a good day, man. Take care.
Yeah. Nice one, dude. They're really hard to get, not snapped off those little dynamite fuses. French resistance fighter. Now, last time I was here, I was very much on the hunt for Action Man Space Ranger parts. That was one of the main things that I was out looking for. Since then, I've completed all the Action Man Space Ranger stuff that I needed, so that's not on my radar anymore. So I wasn't looking on all those Action Man stores like I do normally. There's still stuff I need to complete parts in my collection, but I'm not in a rush to complete the bits that I haven't got. But one thing that I did see that was really nice is a guy who stood there last time, and it's actually the guy that I bought the Action Man Zorgonite stuff from. He'd brought a lot of 40th anniversary Action Man stuff. So Action Man 40th Anniversary is all official release stuff that came out on Action Man's 40th birthday, and it's like pound for pound exactly the same, very much like the repro stuff that we get these days when they do like official Ninja Turtles releases and stuff. They might be the odd difference, the odd type of plastic that's a little bit different used, some of the paint jobs are ever so slightly changed, but for the most part they're exact replicas. So if there's anything that you want to pick up that's too expensive to find in the original stuff or is very rare, this is a nice place to go to get that stuff. One thing that did catch my eye though is that he had a couple of stacker boxes full of 40th anniversary boxes for Action Man at a £5 each. Am I alright to come round? Is that okay? Yeah, I want that 40th anniversary ones. Yeah. They didn't do like a Tom Stone box show like that, did they?
No.
I've got original of that. That's nice. Don't mind. Are they all same in both boxes?
No, there is some different ones. There is a.
So I got an old Talking Commander box, which I don't even know if I've actually got one somewhere in storage that my dad gave me. I need to have a look. I don't think I have, but it's a classic box, and for a £5, I didn't want to leave it, so I got that. And I also got a Desert Fighter box for my Desert Fighter action figure. That's another figure that I recently featured in an Action Man Action Team documentary. So I would like to get boxes for all them, Bullet Man, Tom Stone, and Atomic Man, but they didn't do 40th anniversary boxes for them, but they did do one for the Desert Fighter, so I got that as well. He also had a 40th anniversary horse. I would really like an Action Man horse because I've got a couple of cowboys and Indians that I think would look really good set up and displayed on those horses. And he had that at a pretty nice price as well, but I didn't want to be bringing a big horse home today. I really didn't. I haven't got room to display a big horse right now. But a real nice price, and I was definitely tempted by it. But that's a project for another day, I reckon. What I got there were a couple of 40th reproduction Action Man boxes, just for figures that I've got but don't have original boxes for. But the 40th boxes are so nice that you can't really turn them down for a £5 each. And I'm tempted by his Action Man horse as well. Macabre, but awesome. Weird shit. I need that little red missile off front of this footski. I can never just find the little missile on its own. Or is that one last little bit?
It's terrible when you got to buy the full thing.
Yeah, man, I've got 3. I'm not buying another one for a little red missile. I'll go with that. Now, usually when I come to a toy fair, I've got a bit of a list in mind of things that I'm actually looking for. And last time I come, like I said, I was looking for specific Action Man pieces. This time I was looking for some things from Ninja Turtles. And unfortunately, I didn't find any of the things I needed. There's a couple of accessories, there's a couple of figures that I'm after. I'm trying to find a complete ground chuck. And there's also some pieces I need for a vehicle that I acquired recently that I'm going to show in a video in the future. But no Ninja Turtles, unfortunately, this time. Even though I was looking in all the little bits boxes and accessory boxes and bins and stuff like I always do, not turning up any Ninja Turtles parts this time. So at this point, like, all bets are off. I'm kind of just looking for anything that jumps out at me, and I've picked up some pretty cool random pieces so far, but nothing like creme de la creme, nothing that's like really worth preaching home about. And that's fine, I can go to a toy fair and not bring home anything big, but it's always nice to just do another couple of loops of the whole fair just to make sure you've not missed anything. Having a look on top of shelves, underneath tables, in boxes, places where people might not have seen, just trying to find something that might have, like, eluded most other people. They're about to let general public in, so we want to have a quick look round these last couple of aisles before they do. Because that's when all general public come in. There. Fucking hate the general public. At this point as well, the general public started to come into the building, so it's going to get rammed real quick. And the only thing that I don't like about Doncaster Toy Fair is some of it's not lit very well. Sometimes it's a bit dark. When you get to a table and it's in an area that doesn't have spotlights directly above it and it's got a lot of people crowded around it, some of the tables are really hard to see, like they're just covered in shadow, and trying to spot things can get really hard, especially filming them. Like, I'm legit going to take a light on my camera next time because it was quite annoying. There was a few times I was trying to look in a box and I could barely see what was happening because of how dark it was. But this might have actually ended up working in my favour, because the thing that I spotted next, the best thing that I found at this whole toy fair, was something that was under a shelf and kind of cast in shadow, so a lot of people might not have seen it, but I saw it and I pulled it straight out and I was buzzing.
I mean, it looks like it would be all there, wouldn't it? Because it's...
Now, the only reason that I even saw this in the first place is because when I first got to the toy fair, when I was doing my first loop round, I saw a Bill Jukes Hook figure. Now, I've wanted to gather a collection of Hook figures for some time now. At the end of 2021, I acquired a couple of the Hook vehicles, the raft and stuff, and they had all their accessories and they're really nice, but I don't have any of the figures, and I don't have any of them complete at least. So I've been kind of looking at them at toy fairs and thinking, like, do you know what, at some point I'm going to pull the trigger and start getting them. So I thought, while there's one here and it's only a tenner and it's at this toy fair, I'm about to leave, I might as well go pick it up. So I made my way back to that stall, saw that the Hook figure was still there, picked it up and was like, okay, sound, I'm going to take that for a tenner. Out of the corner of my eye, this is when I spotted the thing that really got me buzzing.
This was like a piece of... Why it throws you off is because some of it is a different colour to what it is on there, so I'm looking for a specific type of colour, but it looks...
Now, earlier this year, my dad gave me a load of old paperwork, loads of old toy catalogues and things like that he just had in storage. And in there was an old catalogue for an Italian toy line called TH3. These are made by a company called Edison. And these are the kind of toy line that even if you've been in this toy collecting game for years, you still may have never heard of them. Because they're foreign, they've got a really obscure line, really weird. And there's lots of like mad fantasy masks and guns and things that you can put on your hand as a kid. But then there's also an action figure line that goes with it. Now, I had seen these toys pop up before, but I'd never seen a catalogue that had like so much of it all laid out, all registered there for me to like really take in how much of an interesting toy line this was all in all. So I'm thinking if I'm ever going to come across any of these toys, they're either going to be really expensive online or they're going to be in another country. I'm going to be out in America or out in Italy toy hunting or something like that. I'm going to be out in France at Lulu Baloo and find some of these and have to pay through the nose for them. I certainly don't expect to find none in fucking Doncaster. So this guy had a character called Black Genius 3, and these figures come with so many different accessories. I said to him, is it even all there? And he said, look, I think it's all there. Have a look inside. So I pulled the box up and I'm having a real good look. There's lots of little tiny intricate little accessories that go with this thing. It's also made from that plastic that's really breaky, really brittle. So I'm trying to like have a good look through the box while there's everyone around me and there's a lot going on to see if it's got all the individual pieces there. I said if it's all there and it's complete, it's a real nice price, I'm going to take this thing home with me today. So I'm having a look through and I'm thinking, do you know what? It looks like it's all there. Nothing's broken. It's in real nice condition. I said, where did you even get this from? And he said he recently bought it from Vectis Auction. Now, I don't know what this was doing in Vectis and how he got it at such a good price, but it was, and it was there in front of me. I could see it with my own eyes, and I know Vectis. I was even in the Vectis TV show, Scouting for Toys. If you watch the last episode of that show, you can see me go and buy some Predator figures from Vectis. I'm also scattered throughout the other episodes as well. That was a shoot that I did. But I know Vectis, and even though I know stuff like this does turn up in Vectis, getting them at a real good price is like very rare because everybody's onto Vectis now. So the fact that he'd got this at such a good price and it was there in front of me, complete, it was a no-brainer to pick it up. And then I also see underneath that same shelf, again casting shadow, is something else that really catches my eye, something Japanese.
It's fire.
Now, you know that I love that Japanese shit. I love kaiju, I love tokusatsu heroes, and I love vintage Japanese toys. So when I see this little bit of Japanese writing out of the corner of my eye, it instantly grabs my attention. So I pull it out, and to my excitement, I see that I'm holding an original Takara transforming Dragon King from Jushin Liger. So Jushin Liger is an anime that I really like, a Japanese animated cartoon from the 80s, and it was so popular at the time that they even created a professional Japanese wrestler off the back of it. Jushin Liger was a professional wrestler that went on to become more famous than the anime ever did, but that old anime is one that I really like. I love the design of it, so when I see that there's a character from that anime for sale here at Doncaster, like, I have to go for that. So seeing this thing obviously got me gassed. I didn't expect to see a Jushin Liger figure for sale there. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take that as well. And judging by the condition of the TH3 piece, I thought this is probably all going to be complete as well. The guy didn't say it wasn't incomplete or anything like that. So I didn't check it. I didn't check it with everything going on and caught up in the excitement. I didn't actually have a look in the box. Something that I would later go on to regret, but I will let you know about that in a second. We'd been at this toy fair for hours now, we'd filmed lots, I'd spent up, I was tired, I was ready to leave. It was very much time to go back to Sheffield at this point. So fast forward to a few hours later, I'm back in Sheffield now and I'm having a look through all the stuff that I've bought. Checking out the TH3 Edison piece, very happy with it. There's lots of different configurations that you can put this thing in and everything's there, nothing's broken, it's all there, it's all complete, and I'm going to have a lot of fun putting this thing into all the different formations and photographing it for a future video. Very happy with that piece. Next I got to check out the Dragon King figure. I'm thinking if that TH3 thing is anything to go by, then this is all going to be complete as well. Amazing. Boy was I fucking wrong. So I slide this thing out of the box and I instantly see that his sword isn't there. His sword is missing. This character's supposed to have a little sword that fits in his hand. It also fits in his shield when he transforms into dragon mode, and it's not there inside the box. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's just fell inside the little leaflet inside. Maybe it's inside the baggie. Maybe it's underneath him. Maybe it's stuck inside the shield. It's not. It's not there. There's no sword with this figure. Now, I'm not trying to throw shade on this dealer or anything like that. He may very well have not known. I'm sure he didn't know. But when it was sold, it wasn't advertised as sword missing. So I bought it next to the TH3 thing, expecting it to be all there. Unfortunately, I get home, I'm looking at it now, and the sword is not there. The sword is very much missing. I at least know that I didn't lose the sword because as soon as I bought this thing, I took it over to Nick at Nima Studios and he wrapped it me up in a few bags so it was nice and safe for the train journey home. So I know that I didn't lose it, but I would be lying if I said that I wasn't a bit pissed off that I'd bought this thing, thinking it was complete, got home and then the sword was missing. Like, I would be lying if I said anything different to that. Like I said, I got it at a very nice price. I was very happy with what I'd paid for this thing. I got this for way cheaper than what I've seen them sell for on eBay and things like that. But it's annoying when you get home and you think something's complete and you open it up to find that there's a piece missing. Now, if this was a Ninja Turtles piece or a Transformers piece or a He-Man toy or something like that, it wouldn't be too bad because they're really popular mainstream lines and somewhere down the line you will probably find that piece that you need to complete that figure if you're missing something. But when it comes to rare Japanese stuff like this, the chances of me finding a little sword for a Jushin Liger Dragon King anytime soon is like probably never gonna happen. So I'm thinking, okay, what can I do to complete this figure? What can I do to guarantee that my little Dragon King from Jushin Liger can have a sword at some point in his life? Now, if you watched any of my videos on accessories, you'll know that I've got boxes of swords and melee weapons, but I don't have one for a rare Japanese Takara Jushin Liger Dragon King. So I'm thinking, okay, what's my next best option? Now, recently in my videos, I've been talking a lot about how much I've been getting into toy design and 3D sculpting and that kind of thing. In fact, the next video that I'm dropping as a Toy Talk Tuesday is a big toy making episode. But it's something I've been doing a lot of recently and I've been getting a lot better at it. But I'm not very good at like doing guns and swords and straight CAD design. It's not really my forte. I'm getting better at it, but the software that I use, Nomad, is not really good for that kind of thing. So I hit up my friend Booty. I talked a little bit about Booty in my 2023 pickups video. He's really good at doing engineering, CAD design and sculpting vehicles and that kind of thing. So I sent him a picture of his sword. I sent him all the measurements of the sword and I said, what's the chances of you making this very simple sword for me and sending it back to me so I can print it out for an episode of Toy Talk Tuesday? Bear in mind I want it for this Tuesday, so it's like less than 48 hours. Is that something that you can do? Luckily for me, it was something that he could do, and lo and behold, this morning he sent me the STL file. So I put it on print this morning, I've printed it out, give it a little sand, give it a little bit of an adjust, and now I'm happy to say that I have a little sword for my Dragon King. Now bear in mind, this is a placeholder until I get the exact one, but in many ways this kind of makes me love this figure even more. All I've got to do is spray it orange, and hopefully you won't really be able to tell. This is not a figure that I'm looking at selling or anything like that. I want it for videos, I want it to be displayed on my shelf, but I just wanted him to have a sword. Like I said, it had to be a very specific size sword. It not only fits in his hand, but he also has to fit it inside his shield as well. And luckily, the one that he made, that I did a little adjustment on, fits perfect, and I'm very happy with it. So I'll still be having a word with that guy at Doncaster if I see him again, if he found it in any of his boxes, if it fell out or anything like that, or if he just didn't know if it was in that box. But until I do find one, if I ever do, I do have a really nice placeholder in my figure now. Like, how cool is that? How awesome is it that my friend Booty just sculpted that and we printed it this morning and it's already in his hand fitting perfect? Like, that's the future is now, people. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to give it a like and let me know down below in the comments what you think of my pickups. Also, did you come and say hello to me while I was at that toy fair? I met so many people who came up to me saying that they saw the last Doncaster Toy Fair, or they saw my NEC hunts, or they just watch Slimehouse in general, and it's always really cool to meet people that check out Slimehouse TV and enjoy the videos that I do. I sometimes think I can be a bit ignorant at these things. Some people will come up and say hello and I feel like I've not given them the time that they deserve for the fact that they've come up and said hello to me. But there's so much going on at these things. I've been up from early. and I'm filming stuff, and like in many ways it's almost like an assault on the senses when I'm at these things because there's so much around me that I'm enjoying. But never feel like you can't come and say hello to me at these shows, because I really do like hearing from people that watch Slimehouse TV, and it just fills me with happiness knowing that you get so much enjoyment out of watching these videos that I make. I'd also love to know what you think of the sword that we created for the Dragon King, and what your stance is on replica weapons when it comes to your vintage toy collection. Are you someone that's purely vintage, or are you happy to have a replica placeholder in your collection if it's something that you can't immediately get to complete a figure? Let me know what your thoughts are on that as well. Also, if this is your first time checking out Slimehouse TV, I'd love for you to introduce yourself down below. We do toy videos every single Tuesday, and we've got an awesome community here. So if you want a bunch of people to chop it up and talk toys with, there's no better place than Slimehouse. If you want to hit me up but you don't want to do it publicly down below, the best place to drop me a direct message is over on Instagram at Theo_Kane_Slimehouse. That's the social media that I'm the most active on, and it's also the best place to keep up to date with everything else that I've got going on here at Slimehouse. If you want to help get these videos made and you want to support Slimehouse in that way, you can also head over to patreon.com/SlimehouseTV. I've got a couple of tiers on there, including my Slime Alliance tier, which allows you to get access to videos 2 weeks in advance and some other exclusive updates as well. All the money that's made from Patreon all goes directly back into the YouTube videos. It helps me pay for equipment, it helps me pay for train tickets, it helps me pay for Judd, my cameraman's breakfast after he's just filmed me for 4 hours. So if you want to help support Slimehouse, that's the best place to do it. And just overall, I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. I really enjoy doing these videos. This is probably going to be my last toy hunt video for a while, because I'm really going to concentrate on the toy making stuff in the next few videos. So make sure you stick around for that, because I've got some really cool stuff to show you. So in the meantime, this is Slimehouse TV. I'm Theo Kane. This is All Figured Out, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Until then, I'm gone.